What helped to propel the Denver Nuggets to the victory in Game 3, and the big start was the big intro. And we'll see what the Nuggets have in store. The crowd is standing. They seem to be pumped. Can they repeat what we saw and heard in game number 3? So far, it's been a pretty good start. 17,171. Another sellout at McNichols Arena, and that certainly has become the norm. And now, the introductions of the lineups for game number 4.
Starters for Seattle. At guard, 6'4" from Oregon State, number 20, Gary Payton. At guard, 6'5" from Illinois, number 13, Kendall Gill. At forward, 6'10" from Trinity JC, number 40, Sean Kemp. At forward, 6'10" from Washington, number 11, Detlef Schrempf. And at center, 6'9" from San Diego State, number 44, Michael Cage. The Sonics trainer is Frank Bertana. Assistant coach is Bob Kloppenberg and Tim Gerchovich and Terry Stotts. The head coach of the Seattle Supersonics is George Karl. And now, our honorary team captain from the Broncos, number 7, John Elway.
Hey! We did it on Monday night! And we're gonna do it tonight! So let's get ready to Montumbo! Tonight, I get to introduce a NBA great and a guy that was great here in Denver. And that's Mr. David Thompson.
From my experiences, I know you fans in Denver are the best in the NBA. Let's get live like in 1975. Let's win tonight, take it to Seattle and win in 5. Let's go Nuggets! Let's go! Let's go! All right, let's go Nuggets!
On your feet and greet your starting Denver Nuggets. At guard, 6 feet from LSU, number 3, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. At guard, 6'5" from Virginia, number 23, Ryan Smith. At forward, 6'7" from Georgetown, number 34, Reggie Williams. At forward, 6'8" from Notre Dame, number 20, LaFonso Ellis. And at center, 7'2" from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo, Philando Nakamba, Jack Wamutombo. The Nuggets trainers Jim Gillen, assistant coaches Mike Evans and Gene Littles. And the head coach of the Nuggets, the horse of cards, Dan Issel.
The Denver Nuggets coming into the series prohibitive underdogs. And while they got the basketball on their home floor, they're going to pull out all the stops. David Thompson joining John Elway in game number 1. The Sonics annihilating the Nuggets, up by as many as 33, and many felt this is going to be a 3-game sweep. Game number 2, the Nuggets found their composure with a playoff game behind them, but the Sonics essentially in a coast win it 97-87. But game number 3, the complexion of this series has turned around. The Nuggets in a romp. They led from start to finish as the Sonics run into a wall. And Dan Issel tells his team still in game number 4, this is all part of the learning experience. Go out there, have some fun, soak it up, and in the meantime, these young Denver Nuggets could take this to a 5th and final game.
I think it's going to be interesting right from the start to anticipate and watch closely the pace of this game and the energy level that both teams start with. Obviously, Monday night, the Nuggets with much more energy on both ends of the court. I think Seattle's goal in the first quarter is to hang in and play competitive basketball.
A veteran crew led by Jake O'Donnell and Jack Madden. Nuggets start with a basketball. Ryan Stiff guarded by Payton. There's Ellis inside. Reggie Williams, will he start it off? And Kemp goes up. The Nuggets destroying the Sonics on the boards in game number 3. Payton, when he was introduced, looked like he was coming out for the first exhibition game of the season. No emotion whatsoever. Schrempf gets the boos. He has been the villain physically of the Sonics. Kemp and Mutombo comes over to swat it away. Kendall Gill, Mutombo again takes care of that one. And a foul is called on Gill, and Mutombo works the crowd.
And the first standing ovation in the first 42 seconds of the game. Seattle trying to get inside. Kemp with the spin, eludes Williams, but weak side help from Mutombo. Kendall Gill, in the last regular season game in Denver between these two teams, had several opportunities either blocked or changed. He hasn't learned yet.
Mutombo had 15 block shots in the first 3 games. He has 2 in the first minute. That is off of Raouf.
And you can see Payton right from the start, much more aggressive, at least from the defensive end.
He is the key man. Game 3, he had 1 steal to go along with his meager 7 points. And he gets the Sonics starting, and that's exactly what the Nuggets did not want to see.
Yeah, I think they are probably most concerned tonight with how Gary Payton plays on both ends.
Reggie Williams brings it up. The open man for the moment, Raouf. And Kemp with the boards. Shawn Kemp going on Ellis. LaFon's doing a nice job in bringing Kemp back to this planet. Cage wide open, so he takes it in. And that was the ghost of Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo's college coach, John Thompson of Georgetown, on hand watching Dikembe and Reggie Williams.
Right now, Dan Issel, I'm sure, not happy with the pace of the game. Nuggets, as you see, John Thompson intent on just walking the ball up the court. They want to get early offense against this defense.
Kendall Gill right up on Williams, who makes the spin. Looks for the open man. Raouf for 3. And the Nuggets have missed their first 3 shots. Stiff takes a try. And the Nuggets have missed their first 4 shots. Sonics on the run. And this is where the Sonics pick up points on the break when Cage is not at the end of it. Nuggets took the easy baskets away from Seattle in the 3rd game, and Cage with the emphatic slam and turns and looks Mutombo straight in the eyes.
Just got off the ground a little bit more quickly than Mutombo did that time, able to dunk before Dikembe could get up to his top jump.
Both coaches standing. I don't think they'll take a seat the whole night. Mutombo the double team. Where's the open man? It's Reggie Williams for 3. Reggie Williams opens the door for the Nuggets as he goes from downtown. Coming off the 31-point performance. Gill. Mutombo rejects it again. Cage with the travel. And that has brought the crowd alive.
I'll tell you, one guy that's alive is Dikembe Mutombo. Great job here as Cage. As Reggie Williams tries to drag the ball away, Michael Cage walks with the basketball. Mutombo with a couple of early blocks really has set the tempo defensively for Denver.
This game has the potential of being the best game in the first round of the NBA playoffs this year. And it has started off a 4-3 ball game. Sonics by the 1. Mutombo looking to take over tonight. Reggie Williams touched it last, says Jake O'Donnell. Sonics this year have lost a total of 20 games, 3 against the Nuggets. Now Jake O'Donnell changes the ruling.
George Karl doesn't like the call, but I think a veteran official like Jake just realized he had simply pointed the wrong direction.
And Karl and Issel now exchanging friendly notes. Here's the steal, and Kendall Gill is going, and he is gone. Another man who has been struggling from the field. 36% from the floor for Gill. Kemp is shooting 31%. Sonics have been struggling from the floor. Stiff breaks in. And a whistle. And a foul is called. I believe it's on Mutombo trying to wrestle 2 Sonics. And Dikembe has his first personal foul. It is imperative that Mutombo stay out of foul trouble. A very relaxed Dan Issel. The Nuggets have nothing to lose. As Dave Krieger wrote today in the Rocky Mountain News, this one's on the house for the Nuggets. They made their mark in game number 3, but the Nuggets young players don't look at it that way. They want to go to game 5 in Seattle. The bump and the basket. And Detlef Schrempf, who has been a killer here in this series, gets Reggie Williams hung in the air.
We've talked about Schrempf maybe being the toughest matchup for the Nuggets. You can see the nice head and shoulder fake. Reggie goes for it, and Schrempf at 6'10", strong enough that even with contact, he can get the shot up. 30 free throws in 3 games.
And he's hitting from there. 3 points for Schrempf on that sequence, and the Sonics off to a 9-3 lead.
And now you can see that Seattle defensively has come out with much more intensity, much more aggression than they did Monday night.
Mutombo rips it away, unable to get the jam, but will get to the foul line. Michael Cage putting the body on Mutombo.
I'll tell you right now, Dikembe Mutombo almost single-handedly is keeping the Nuggets within a distance that they can come from behind. Mutombo takes one right in the mouth.
One of the questions we had, could the Nuggets and could the fans duplicate the kind of emotion that we saw Monday night? And I would guess no, because I don't think it could be any higher than that, although Mutombo has. He has gone higher.
Yeah, I think Monday night was a special night for a lot of reasons. The team shot the ball well. Seattle maybe didn't play as well as they can, and you just can't duplicate nights like that. You might not see another night with everything working like that for 3-4 years. Nuggets have to find a way to forget that and just grind out a win.
It was kind of the Haley's comment of the Nuggets basketball history. Gill passes it off to Cage. Can Cage be the secret weapon in game number 4? For the Nuggets, this is still a must win. For the Sonics, they know they still could go back to game 5 at home to wrap it up. Ellis from outside.
They've done a better job on him in the post, and LaFonso, when he's been able to score, has done most of it in transition.
The hand for Brian Stiff, who has always put his body ahead of anything on the basketball court. The Sonics want to get it done. They don't want to chance a 5th game. And even taking to a 5th game bruises Seattle's ego, the best team in the NBA this year. The double team on Kemp. Oh, Payton was wide open in the corner, but there going upstairs is Kendall Gill. Kendall Gill saving it up for game number 4. And the Sonics lead it 11-6. Sonics this year, best record on the road of any NBA team, 26-15. Near turnover. Nuggets have 2 in the game. Very low for against Seattle. There's Ellis. Schrempf right on top of him as the 24-second buzzer goes off. The save there by Cage, and now Shawn Kemp, who's been kept under wraps, just 13 points a game. Schrempf has not been kept under wraps. Takes one step too many. And now the Nuggets will call a timeout. So a high-pressured start, and the experienced Sonics have made the first move on the chessboard. It's Seattle 11, Denver 6. By placing a deposit for season tickets now, you guarantee yourself a seat for next season, so don't be left out. Call the Nuggets office at 575-1900. Account executive standing by to answer all your season ticket questions and to take your orders. 6:20 to go in this first quarter. Jam-packed at McNichols Arena. Playoff fever has struck the Mile High City. The Nuggets trying to tie this series and send it to a 5th and final game in Seattle Saturday afternoon. And that is called a kick on Sean Kemp. So the Nuggets will get the reset of 24 seconds. And Kemp has already worked up a sweat. And yes, the Nuggets have made the Sonics work up a sweat in this series. They thought they'd be resting now and getting ready for the winner of San Antonio and Utah. Rauf ducks through traffic on the run. And now Gill ahead to Payton. A 3-on-1. And that was not a good. That was Gary Payton vintage rookie year.
Tell you what, Kendall Gill, however, won't get too many passes that he's able to handle better than that. Gill just lost the handle going up, and Reggie Williams the only guard back for the Nuggets as Robert Pack makes his first appearance.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf goes out in favor of Pack, who had a terrific game in Game 3. Really pushed the pace, very physical against Payton. And Rauf, who has been struggling all series, goes out having missed all 3 shots in this first quarter. Kemp dishes it off to Cage. Really has to battle for that shot, and out of the crowd is Brian Stith. Nuggets looking for a lift, and they're calling on Pack off the bench. Now it is Sean Kemp. Kemp coast to coast takes it in on Mutombo. Gill cannot elude the referee.
I tell you, Mutombo will have nothing on that particular play in the box score, but that's a turnover because of Mutombo's presence. Sonics doing a better job on the boards as they got out-rebounded by 18 Monday night.
Mutombo is there, can't get it. And from behind, Michael Cage on the back of Dikembe Mutombo. And that's the second foul on Cage. The Nuggets, what kind of start are they going to get off? They have taken 13 shots, and they have hit 2. And still, with these foul shots, would be just 3 points behind.
Largely due to the guy shooting the free throws. Mutombo able to keep shots alive inside and has changed a bunch of opportunities for those wearing green.
1 for 3 from the foul line. A very calm, cool, collected George Karl. Giannis also. He has enjoyed the turnaround by the Nuggets and the comeback and the resolve of this young club to not just go out quickly in 3. 11-7. Is that a lucky number for the Sonics, who lead it by 4? Kemp from outside, and that's the shot he's been relegated to, and that's why he's shooting 30% from the field in the series. Nuggets whipping the ball around. Mutombo rejected by Kemp, but the quick hands of Stith keeps it alive. Pack on the fly. The Nuggets continue to hammer away, trying to wear down the Sonics. The foul is number 1 on Sean Kemp.
You mentioned their shooting deficiencies. The Nuggets right now only 4 points down simply because of a lot of grit. Mutombo able to keep the ball alive, and they have chased down a couple of loose balls, got rebounds going out of bounds, and hustle right now, keeping the Nuggets afloat.
The Nuggets just were not ready for game number 1, and there was no way they could be. 10 players on the roster had never played a playoff game, plus they're opening on the road in Seattle. But they really have an opportunity now in this series to understand what this level is all about. Eat 11-8, Sonics by the 3. 4:20 left in the first quarter. Schrempf looking for Cage. Crowd booing Schrempf when he touches the ball. Now cheering when he misses the shot. Robert Pack trying to push it up. Watching out for Kemp. Basket here. It's a 1-point ball game. A low-scoring affair in the first. Mutombo fakes to Reggie Williams, runs into Schrempf. And it's off of Detlef out of bounds, but it leaves the Nuggets with just 7 seconds to shoot.
And everything a bit disjointed for the Nuggets offensively. Breaking down, not as much movement, I'm sure, as Dennis would like to see in Game 4.
Players are falling on the floor. Pack for three, ties it up. And that's the first field goal by either team in the last 3 minutes. The Nuggets becoming a 3-point threat in this series. Payton takes it in and hits, and he is fouled. A whirling dervish in Gary Payton, trying to elevate his game in game number 4. Robert Pack nailed for his first personal foul.
Just going to say, if Robert Pack can hit this type shot occasionally, really is a plus for the Nuggets, because he presents more problems defensively for Gary Payton than Mahmoud does.
Well, Robert Pack showing good hit from the outside. You know what he could do from the inside. This is game number 3. He sees Shawn Kemp. His eyes light up and buries it, and Kemp just runs the other way.
He is difficult to pressure. He outruns big guys, and then he breaks your pressure almost single-handed.
So Payton misses the foul shot, but his basket gives the Sonics a 2-point edge in a very low-scoring affair. You can tell that the grip has been tightened here in game 4. Mutombo in traffic and called for 3 seconds. Everything here tonight is being funneled through Dikembe Mutombo. Sam Perkins back on. He has been one of the highlight players for the Sonics in the first 3 games, putting up some numbers, and the threat from downtown. So Cage comes out. Rodney Rogers is checked in for the Nuggets against Schrempf. Sonics having their difficulty getting the ball inside. So Gill tries to pull his way in, and that's bad news for the Nuggets, because their high man in game 3, Reggie Williams, has just picked up his 2nd personal foul in the first quarter. Timeout is taken. 3 minutes to go in the first, and the Sonics lead it by the score of 13-11. Kendall Gill, one of the big pickups by the Sonics, along with Detlef Schrempf and Sam Perkins, who came over mid-season last year. Still many adjustments on this Sonic club. And right now, Drew Goodman with a special guest in the big crowd here at McNichols Arena. A special guest whose heart has to be pounding. Drew?
All right, Al, thanks very much. My special guest, the father of Brian Stith, Norman Stith, who's been in town for a couple of days. Is he treating you well? Is he cooking dinner every night?
Yes, he is. We're enjoying ourselves.
One of the things Brian likes to say is he has 4 coaches, not only Dan, Gene, and Mike, but yourself. He says, my father's my coach 24 hours a day. What'd you tell him after the first 3 games of the playoffs?
Well, we told him to stay focused, do the things that it took him to get him here, and they'll be okay.
How much basketball did you play with Brian growing up?
Well, when he was young, after the first basketball camp, AAU at 5-star, I couldn't handle him any longer.
Of all the attributes Brian has as a basketball player, what do you like best about his game?
Well, his defense and his competitiveness to play 100%, even if his offense is not there.
What I want to know is, did he buy you a ticket to Seattle yet?
Yeah, we got it. I'm on the plane. We're on the way.
Norman, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the game.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, let's get it back to the table. Al and Dave.
Norman, of course, a big football fan. One of his all-time favorites was Darryl LaMonica. So his son is named Bryant LaMonica Stith.
The Mad Bomber. Nuggets doing a good job rebounding, as we talked about. 18 rebounds more than the Sonics on Monday night. Seattle very much aware of that. You can tell this team is the last couple of days worked on that. You see some green jerseys going after the ball. Sonics know that rebounding, one of the keys to hanging in with the Nuggets here in Denver.
And the Nuggets have that slight edge. Nuggets were out rebounded by 13 per game in the first 2. And Shawn Kemp elevates. Dikembe Mutombo says, don't let him get a couple of dunks, because then he gets going. Nuggets out rebounded the Sonics in the 3rd game, 43-25, really turning the tables. Mutombo has some room, not much. Gill is the man who makes the block. Leads to Kemp, tries to set up the dunk here, but Rodney Rogers says no. And the Sonics are really swarming around the hoop. So Rodney Rogers, a big star, 32 points over the last 2 games off the bench for the Nuggets. And he has several fans here among the 17,000 who have gone beyond the call of duty. That's Rogers fan club. I think they follow him everywhere. We saw that for the first time the other night. And just had to shake his head.
And grimace.
One more shot for Kemp. Shawn Kemp trying to get it going, something like this. This was in game number 3, one of the rare highlights for Seattle as he goes in over Brian Williams. And at the vintage Shawn Kemp. But he misses from the foul line. And the Sonics set up defensively. It's Perkins who comes all the way out to take a run at Pack.
So they want to dislodge the basketball from the point early, make either Pack or Mahmoud pass it, and then let somebody else run the offense in half court.
The Nuggets ball, that's the good news. The bad news, they have 3 seconds to shoot. 2:08 left in the first. The inbounds by Rogers. Looking, still looking. Wide open shot for Ellis. 3 seconds turned out to be more than enough time.
But again, because of the Seattle defense, the interior defense, Fonz has had to move his game out a bit on the perimeter. That might be a couple of steps beyond where even he feels comfortable, but he gets to go down in good rhythm.
Tight, low scoring playoff basketball in game number 4. Payton being watched closely by Pack. And fires. Oh, over the rim was Ellis. That should have been a basket. The Sonics are complaining. Should have been interference, a goaltend. But no call made. The Nuggets now have an opportunity to tie it. And Dan Issel is now complaining that the refs are allowing George Karl to come out on the court and complain. He had a legitimate beef.
You can take a look at why George was out on the court. Fonz took that baby right out of the cylinder. Payton a little bit short. The ball will bounce basically straight up. A couple of hands right out of the cylinder. Clearly basket interference. The Nuggets catch a break.
All right, remember those 2 points. Jot it down and remember it. Because this one has all the markings of going down to the wire. For 3. Ellis cuts in. Mutombo goes low. There's a dive by McMillan. Pierces in, but the Nuggets come up with it. Robert Pack sees some room. But the pass too low for Rodney Rogers.
That looked a little bit like a rugby play. Bodies everywhere in the lane. That's the one area that Dan would like to see Robert improve most. Handling the basketball. First 3 games in the series, 15 assists, but 12 turnovers for Robert Pack.
Kemp again away from the hoop with Mutombo out on him. And Mutombo not giving Kemp the baseline, and the crowd appreciates it. Ricky Pierce tries his shot. Ellis rips another one down. His 8th rebound in the first quarter. Nuggets bring the ball down and the crowd standing. There's the steal by McMillan. McMillan being chased by Ellis, but he gets away. And Payton with the follow, and he's ready to even follow again if he had to.
Tell you, we've had more guys on the floor, either on their back or diving after loose basketballs in the first quarter than we've seen in some games in the regular season.
17-13, Sonics with a 4-point edge, and it is all-out war in this 4th game.
There's the pinch trying to take the ball out of him. That's a real legal defense. It should be. If Robert Pack doesn't pass it, if he dribbles the basketball, it forces the Sonics to adjust underneath the basket. Nate McMillan can't get this shot to go, but Gary Payton and the cameraman both right on top of the scene.
Well, McMillan so far has not hurt the Nuggets in this series, but he's done a number on our courageous cameraman right down there at courtside. Last shot, and the Nuggets will have it. The court is spread for Robert Pack. Payton checks behind him. Now Pack puts it between the legs, dishes it off to Mutombo. The block by Kemp. Run down by Payton. They still have some time. Perkins, he's in his range. Was looking for the bank, but not enough steam. So that is the end of the first 12 minutes of action. And this one is tight. The Sonics, though, strike first. They have the lead at the end of the first quarter. Welcome back to sold-out McNichols Arena. The Denver Nuggets lifted by the emotion in game number 3. David Thompson, the surprise guest here tonight to try to lift the Nuggets emotionally to start game number 4. Nuggets did come out playing hard, playing strong. But in game number 3, the Nuggets scored 41 points in the first quarter. Game number 4, 13.
It's obviously a different pace to the game. Seattle has come out with a renewed energy, and now the Nuggets have to find a way to stay in the game when they're not shooting the basketball very well.
Kemp gets scribbed, and there is McMillan. So the Sonics are finding their way to the loose ball here tonight. 19-13, Seattle by the 6. Seattle Supersonics this year, 63 wins and 19 losses. The winner of the Pacific Division and the best record in the NBA. And most experts call the sweep in this first series. Nuggets again, nice job whipping the ball around, but Brian Stiff, who could hardly miss in game 3, having his difficulty. The strip by Pack. He outruns Perkins, but the foul. And Pack finishes it anyway, just for the thrill of it.
That's a play that everybody would like to see Jack Madden not whistle.
Yeah.
And usually in a case like this, unless you really grab the guy and it's a breakaway, a veteran official will not call this. You see the great steal by Pack. Perkins with the little left hand there. Pack has got a dunk, but it won't count.
Nuggets 4 of 20 from the field in the first quarter, but still very much a tight ball game. Ryan Williams whips it out. Rahj'iladelphia fires. Swish. 5 points for Williams. And that actually counts as the high man for the Nuggets here early. He has a third of Denver's 15 points. McMillan with Askew, along with Pierce, Kemp, and Perkins. Sean Kemp, the tomahawk.
What we're seeing here in the first quarter is something we didn't see much of in the entire game. Seattle able to penetrate off the dribble, draw the defense, and dish. Sean Kemp with a nice pass from Vincent Askew.
Minute and a half into the second quarter. It's Williams to Williams.
Well, that's a great look. Simple screen and roll. Reggie draws the defense. Brian Williams turns, looks for the pass, and an open path to the basket.
Kemp with Pack on him. Make McMillan wide open, has time. Askew wrestles it away. Great hustle by a hustler in Askew. Dishes it off. Perkins steps back for 3. McMillan, a good three-point shooter, calling for it. Askew can't hold on. And the Sonics playing a little bit too much with the basketball.
That's outstanding defense by the Nuggets. They recognize Perkins as a three-point shooter. Not one, but 2 Nuggets run at him. I think we've got a player to be checked in that none of the officials saw.
And of all players, it's Detlef Schrempf.
Just what he wanted, a break in the action to check in.
He wanted to slip in under the under the darkness. Kemp comes out, 4 points tonight. He had 10 points in the third game. He averages 18 a game during the season. So the Nuggets have kept Kemp essentially under wraps. Now some full court pressure by Seattle. You know, we still haven't seen the spark of Gary Payton, who now sits on the bench. The wrestling between the two antagonists in game 3, and Brian Williams applauds that one. Schrempf is nailed with his first foul. They went at it in game number 1, taunting, trash talking, and some shots to the throat of Brian Williams.
One of the luxuries of having a guy like Brian Williams, when you play him at the same time with Mutombo, you force a man much smaller to cover. And Schrempf, even at 6'10", not strong enough to play Williams in the blocks.
Mutombo rocking and rolling, and the Nuggets are within 2. And that's when Mutombo has added to the offense. There he faked the hook and then went underneath. Now Perkins with a long reach. Ricky Pierce for Seattle. He has to get on track. Nuggets an opportunity to tie it up. The acceleration by Pack. Down goes McMillan, and this will be on the Sonic. And a technical foul has been called on Nate McMillan for throwing the ball.
McMillan's got to be careful here because Jack Madden will run him quickly. Nate McMillan with the blocking foul and the technical. Pack bounced the ball at McMillan, who fired it back, and that's what got him stuck.
So Pack now has an opportunity to put the Nuggets ahead. This could be a three-point play from the foul line. And they have also given Vincent Askew a technical. We'll find out here at the foul line. George Carano coming off the bench and saying, what? So Pack makes the two.
That's exactly what happened. Both Askew and McMillan hit with technical fouls.
And it was a non-shooting foul, and the Sonics, that's just their third team foul. So that's the two technicals, not a three-point opportunity. Well, if that revs up anybody, I have a feeling it's going to rev up McMillan in Seattle. But for now, the Nuggets have tied it up. 8:45 to go. Robert Pack is becoming the Nuggets' secret weapon in games 3 and 4, taking over for Raouf. Ellis makes that fake, but is called for the travel.
I think a good call. LaFonso Ellis with a nice head and shoulders fake, but he scooted before he dribbled. Tough to see from that angle. Actually, the walk happened prior to that.
Now the Sonics having their difficulty of putting the ball in the basket. Perkins loses. And Pack again, pushing the pace. He has Brian Williams, who in the foul.
Well, you talk about a big man that can elevate. Brian Williams looked like he popped out of the ceiling on that dunk.
B-52.
The defense, the interior defense of the Nuggets. And Robert Pack has been able to generate some easy opportunities. How about this pass? And way up in the air is Brian Williams.
But unable to complete the three-point play. That was another foul on Nate McMillan, his second. And the Nuggets lead it. They have scored 8 straight. Askew goes in. And sticking out his arm is Brian Williams. And he's tagged with his first personal foul. So Brian Williams off the bench, giving Mutombo a rest. And the Nuggets opening it up. Williams with a couple of left-handed slams, his specialty. Vincent Askew with a couple of shots, 83% from the line. And let's check in now with Drew Goodman.
All right, last time out, one of the things Dan was talking about, he said Seattle picked up the intensity. He said we don't have to make a great play offensively. The shots are there if we keep moving the basketball.
And the last couple of sequences, they have just moved the basketball on the fast break, and Seattle not able to get back in transition. All knotted at 23, 4 minutes in to the second quarter. The bumping between Askew and Rogers. 3-on-1. Pierce gets it back.
That's something, again, the Nuggets don't want to do. The turnover at midcourt resulting in 2 Seattle points.
Ganesel wants to talk that over with the Nuggets. They have worked hard when the Sonics assumed control early. And there's a timeout at McNichols Arena. By placing a deposit for season tickets now, you guarantee yourself a seat for next year of all the Nuggets regular season home games, so don't be left out. Call the Nuggets office at that number, 575-1900. Account executives standing by to answer all of your season ticket questions. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. 17,107 once again jammed in to McNichols Arena. Sonics lead by 2. Nuggets trying to do something about that. From behind, Rogers gets it from Askew. Askew doesn't look that big, but he is 6'6", 230, and he is solidly built and a terrific defender.
But he's got his hands full in the blocks with Rodney Rogers. Seattle's been able to help him a bit because they've really pressured the ball on the perimeter, thus making the entry pass a bit tougher. But Rogers with a distinct advantage against anybody from Seattle down low.
Rodney's head was spinning in game number 1. Not much of a factor, but in game 2 he came off the bench in the second half and scored 17 second-half points. And in game number 3 he chipped in for 15 off the bench. This time nothing from the foul line, so the Sonics hold on to the lead. And one of the key matchups coming into the series was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf against Gary Payton, and both of them have been mysteries in the series. Schrempf working on Brian Williams. Here is Pack, accelerates and sets it up to LaFonso Ellis. And the Sonics having problems defending with Robert Pack just picking the pace. Pierce starts in. Ricky Pierce takes it strong to the hoop. 27-25. Seattle by 2. Sonics leading this series 2-1. One more victory and they will move on to the next round. Nuggets trying to force a 5th and final game. To shoot, the force by Williams. Now Monday night he would have hit that. Pack, he's already hit a 3.
Smart there. Thought about it.
Yeah.
But shot clock reset. Get into the offense and work folks down low.
Pack. It counts.
Looked like Vincent Askew may have had his hands on that ball, but Brian Williams will get credit.
7 points for Pack. He's a Nuggets high scorer. Pierce. And he has not been able to get on track. Ellis tries to save, and he does. Nuggets now off and running. Robert Pack always running. The shovel to Rogers, who wants the rim.
Great look from Robert Pack.
And Seattle calls a timeout. The Nuggets have hurdled over the Sonics, and they hear it from the crowd.
Robert Pack, since he came into the game, has changed the tempo of this basketball game. Really able to penetrate, get into the heart of the Sonics defense, draw people, and then find an open teammate.
And he opened it up originally with that 3-pointer. Now he's been able to penetrate.
It starts with excellent rebounding. LaFonso Ellis with a great effort just to get the ball out to a teammate. Pack with the penetration and the scoop, and once that big fella gets the ball on his way to the basket, you can forget it.
All right, now Drew Goodman along with John Thompson, who's visiting his 2 former stars.
All right, thanks very much, Al. John, you were supposed to be here Monday, but you told Dikembe Mutombo, I'm not coming until you win a game.
Yeah, he called me and asked me, was I coming? And I told him no. I said, you got to win a game. If you win a game, I'll come. And immediately after the game was over, he called me and said, I won. Are you coming? I said, yes.
Yeah, but he didn't spring for the ticket, did he?
No, he definitely didn't do that. And I was glad to be here because he and Reggie are here, and I was happy to see him play.
Reggie obviously had a great game Monday. What's the report card so far through a quarter and a half on your 2 players?
Well, you know, I think they're playing well. I'm just elated with Reggie because in the last game, he looked like the old Reggie Williams, shooting the jumper, he was penetrating, he was doing a lot of things. And he's a great passer. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for his passing. Dikembe is running the floor. I just hope they can win this game.
Hey, John, one quick one. Wanted to ask you, as a college coach, do you enjoy watching the NBA game?
Well, definitely so. I think it's a lot of excitement involved in the NBA game, and you love to see the kids that you've coached against and coached play at this level. It's a lot of excitement involved in these games.
John, appreciate it. Thank you. John Thompson, head coach at Georgetown. Al?
And he sees Dikembe Mutombo and Reggie Williams back on the floor together for the Nuggets. 2 seconds to shoot. Schrempf gets it off in time, beats the clock, and just beats the fingertips of Mutombo.
That was excellent defense by the Nuggets and a great shot by Schrempf.
4:50 to go in the second quarter. We are all even. Rauf is back in, but we have a whistle and a foul against LaFonso Ellis, bustling up with Detlef Schrempf. Low-scoring affair here tonight in Game 4.
They'll let you bang. Watch Fonz take both arms and push. There's the push with the right hand. The outside official, Jack Madden, on that. Very, very physical tonight inside, Al. I think much more physical tonight than Monday.
Payton is back on, so is Rauf, and that matchup once again in play. Kendall Gill, he kind of warmed up a little bit in Game 3 when he hit for 15 points, but prior to that he had hit only 5 of 19 from the field, and tonight Kendall Gill with 6. And the Sonics by 2. 4:20 left in the first half. Rauf waving Stith away. Rauf and Stith have not scored. Blindside is Mutombo. And the Nuggets are left with 6 points. Is it Kendall Gill, who has been quiet, the man that will step up for the Sonics and try to keep Seattle from a 5th game? Rauf from afar. And Mahmoud tonight has taken 4 shots, still looking for his first hoop. Schrempf. Back it goes to Payton. And that was a 3-pointer. A whistle. It's going to go against Seattle in low.
I think Askew inside.
Askew has his 2nd personal foul. And we're inside 4 minutes to go in the first half. And that is a bonus situation now as far as the Nuggets are concerned. And Reggie Williams will go to the line. 31 points on Monday night. His season high. Probably his greatest moment in 7 years as a pro. Almost a symbol of where he started from. And here's a player who was picked 4th in the draft out of Georgetown, then went on to be waived on 2 occasions, and now enjoying this season with the Nuggets. He says he just hopes that when the Nuggets are in the situation the Sonics are in, and he's still here contributing, may not be that far down the road. 7th time that this game has been tied. 3:50 left in the first half. The crowd continues to boo. Schrempf, Gill in traffic, rejected. Nuggets revving it up, but from behind, Askew. Gill all alone. And that is Sonic basketball, and we have not really seen much of that in the last 3 games.
Well, that's good hustle by the Sonics. Askew from behind.
Ellis lets it fly. 4 field goals. 8 points for Ellis to go along with his 10 first half rebounds.
All 4 come from the perimeter. LaFonso very good stepping outside that pressure defense.
Shawn Kemp back on the floor for Seattle. That's where his shots are coming from, but he's not having the success that Ellis has. On the run, Reggie Williams. There is Kemp who gets back. On the run come the Sonics. Payton cuts in on Ellis, tries to beat him with speed. Oh, Schrempf with a fabulous follow.
That's a great follow with his arm completely extended, guided that thing off the glass.
35-33, Sonics by 2. And thrown out right now in this series has been the differential of 21 wins between these 2 teams. Smothering Stith is Askew. Ellis tries again. LaFonso Ellis on fire. 10 points to go along with 11 rebounds in the first half. He was held to 4 points in the 3rd game. Vincent Askew wheels. And that's his first field goal. 37-35. Sonics and Nuggets now getting into trading baskets. Coming down to 2 minutes left in the first half. The trap on Stith. Able to get out of trouble. Rauf takes a look. Still looking for his first hoop. The hot man is Ellis, but now he has some traffic. Ellis gets it back. This is number 1 on Gary Payton. And a timeout, I believe, will be taken Changes will be made, and we'll pick that up. Where has Gary Payton gone? The energized Payton of the season, of the first game, has not shown up in the last 3. And you wonder also, last night, Kevin Johnson named to replace Isaiah Thomas on Dream Team 2, of whether Payton has taken that as a snub and a slap in the face. George Karl has been campaigning for his man.
He might have. In the first 2 games, he had 6 steals. And Gary Payton, as we talked about, an excellent defensive player. He plays a lot with his quickness of foot, but he's got great hands, always reaching in for the ball. That time he gets called. You can see the improvements that Gary Payton has made, and consequently the improvements this Sonics team have enjoyed.
A dozen for Ellis, who hits the 2 foul shots, and we're even Steven at 37. Minute 35 to go in the first half. Schrempf in low. Payton stutter step and illegal defense against Denver. And Jake O'Donnell saying, I can make the call on my own, as he talks to the Sonic bench.
First time we've seen, at least the last game and a half, Seattle do a good job of, once they throw the post and back out, Detlef Schrempf reposting, getting better position inside. That's caused that particular play, the illegal defense.
Kemp and Ellis. And Kemp takes on Mutombo. The Nuggets wanted the foul. The swing by Shawn Kemp. They don't get it. Only 6 points, though, for Kemp in the first half. Sonics by 2. Ellis now trying to take it on Kemp. Ellis feeling good. That won't count. Rodney Rogers just took 2 points off the board. That may have gone in without Rogers' help.
Like this, aggressive ones. The ball on the rim looked like it was headed back in. Rodney with the offensive goaltending.
It has been airtight. Now the Sonics the chance for a little comfort with a basket here. They'd be up by 4, but Payton off the mark. Kemp. Cage, not his range. Payton keeps it alive. 35 seconds in the half. Payton fakes the 3, takes it down the lane. It's off of Cage and out of bounds. So the Sonics get a few cracks at it. Sonics shooting 43%. They've been around that the whole series. The Nuggets, who shot 60% in game 3, 38% from the field in the first half. And Raouf in the closing seconds still looking for his first basket of the night. Ellis for 3. LaFonso Ellis downtown. An Ellis explosion in the first half. There's Kemp right after the buzzer. So LaFonso Ellis sends the Nuggets into the locker room with the lead. 15 of the 40 points have been scored by Ellis. He was held to 4 points in game 3 and goes out working the crowd in game 4 with 15 points and 11 boards.
Everything from the perimeter for Fonz, and everything dropping, even when he steps back to 3-point range.
He's 6 of 9 from the field. 15 points make it 12 rebounds in the first half for LaFonso Ellis. Got the place buzzing. And tonight John Elway came back, and he also had a special surprise in introducing one of the all-time greats and one of the all-time favorites in Denver history, David Thompson. DT, good to see you again. That was a different role for you.
Yeah, it sure was, but it was very exciting. The crowd's great. They got the crowds back like they used to be in the good old days, and I'm just so happy for Denver basketball.
The intensity is so high tonight. It was probably the highest on Monday night. When you think back of Denver and intensity during the days you played here, are there any moments that you remember most?
Well, probably the first year in the NBA and the playoffs. That was really exciting. Plus the first year of McNichols Arena and the ABA All-Star Game and the series against the Nets against Dr. J. Those were great times. Every playoff situation is very special. And the year we made it to the conference finals and lost to the Seattle Supersonics, that was a great year as well.
You know, in this series, it's so interesting because the Nuggets going into game number 1, and they were blown out in game number 1 because 10 players on the Nuggets roster had never played a playoff game, and I doubt if they'd ever seen one live. What would have you told these guys about what the different level it is playing a regular season game and a playoff game?
Well, you have to step your game up a couple of notches. It's very intense. The games are real physical. The officials let some of the physical play go, and they don't really call the games as closely as possible. So you have to be prepared for that. And the veteran teams, they really know how to play. It becomes more of a half-court game, so you have to prepare for inside play.
As you take a look at the young Nuggets, you've seen them a few times. What are your impressions of this team?
This is potentially a great basketball team. They've come a long way. They've got some good young basketball players that should be core for years to come. The way they ended up this season and the way they played in the playoffs so far is just a glimpse of what the team can be in the future. You
know, there's talk about next year, or the additions I'm sure will be made. They're looking perhaps at point guard, maybe another veteran side. I see a young David Thompson fitting into this unit extremely well. Do you, sitting there at courtside, any visions of those? What would a young David Thompson be like with this Nugget team?
I think it would have been a great situation for me as well as the team. Playing with a big guy like Mutombo that can block shots and rebound, and as well as a lot of the other guys, it's been a great opportunity to play with this basketball team.
All right, David Thompson joining us, and we'll get more from David when we return right here on Prime Sports Network, pay-per-view. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with the Nuggets leading the Sonics by 1. Welcome back to McNichols Arena. It's jam-packed here again tonight, 40-39. The Nuggets leading Seattle Supersonics, and the guest of the Nuggets, David Thompson, who helped rev up the crowd before the start of tonight's game. And David, I'm taking a look at the stat sheet, and what has made Seattle so successful is how they capitalize off of turnovers. But here in the first half, the Nuggets have 16 points off the 11 turnovers. Actually, Seattle has the 16, and the Nuggets have the 7, so they're doing it once again. That is a philosophy George Karl coaching under Doug Moe, that when you were here, I remember there were a lot of fast break baskets off of turnovers. That was actually a Nugget philosophy going back to those days in the 70s.
Yeah, that's true. We tried to apply a lot of pressure defensively, full court, and anytime you can get easy baskets off the other team's turnovers, that's a definite plus. And that's one of the reasons why Seattle is still in the basketball game. They were able to get a couple of turnovers in a row and get some easy baskets.
You know, David, the last time you were here was to have your number retired. What does it feel like coming back for the first time and looking up and seeing the big number up there?
Well, it's great to look up there at it. It's always good to be back at McNichols Arena. This is like home for me, and every chance I get an opportunity to come back, it's a very special feeling. All
right, David Thompson, thanks for joining us. Always great to see. I know the crowd here was just thrilled to see David Thompson, a terrific surprise, and I know everybody wants to talk to you here. Thanks for joining us. Okay, DT David Thompson will be back for the second half in just a moment. McNichols Arena, Denver, Colorado. It's the scene, and what a scene this is at McNichols. Game number 4. The Nuggets have a point edge. It is airtight here tonight as the Nuggets look to send this to a 5th and final game in Seattle Saturday afternoon. Dave, the statistics, Nuggets struggling from the floor. Certainly not the 60%, but still staying in this ball game and actually leading by 1.
I think maybe the surprising stat there, Seattle with 7 more opportunities, but the Nuggets with 9 more free throw chances. That's something that obviously Dan felt like he had to have. Neither team shooting particularly well from 3-point range, and the Nuggets have 3 attempts there, 3 makes there.
All right, let's send it to Drew Goodman right now, who's right outside the locker room. He's got the horse, of course.
All right, Al, thanks very much. Adjustments at halftime. What'd you talk about?
Well, we talked about we're doing a great job in the half-court defense. We've given them 16 points off of turnovers. We've probably given them 8 or 10 points on second shots, and they only got 39 shots. So we got to find a way to keep them in a half-court game offensively.
Offensively for you, antithesis of the other night. Some of the shots, some of the good shots not falling tonight. What can you say?
Well, there's nothing you can say about shooting. Just keep taking them.
Good luck second half, Dan. Appreciate it. Al, back your way.
And the scoring leaders, no Sonic in double figure. Kendall Gill is the high man with 8 points. Schrempf with 7. Again, the Nuggets keeping Sean Kemp under wraps with 6. And once again, Gary Payton, hard to figure out. The fire is not burning, and he has but 6 points. Gary Payton, no steals in the ball game. LaFonso Ellis is the only man in double figures, and he has over a third of the Nuggets' points, hitting the last one from downtown, along with 12 rebounds for Ellis. And Robert Pack off the bench with 7, and he really lit a fire under the Nuggets. So those are the scoring leaders, and here is Robert Pack rushing it. This is one of his favorite targets. Brian Williams with that lethal left hand gets in the air. He gets everybody at McNichols up in the air, and a very emotional Denver Nugget ball club, and they are really playing together.
Seattle able to come back a little bit in transition, and with 7 more field goal opportunities, but not shooting the ball well, they have to rely on some transition defense. Askew knocks the ball away, and Gill on the other end for the dunk.
The Nuggets were going into the locker room trailing by 2 until LaFonso Ellis in the closing seconds said, why not? I've been hot all half, and he ends it with the 3. And LaFonso Ellis, 4 points in the first quarter. He scored 11 points in the second. And he is busting out here tonight offensively after being held to 4 points in game number 3, although that was one of the best 4-point games we have seen in a long time. And on the hustle board, again, the Sonics with only 5 steals. They average 13 per ball game. They average 20 turnovers per game. Payton from far, and he hits. Remember, Gary Payton hit the first shot of the game.
And there's a guy that has to get it going offensively, but maybe more importantly, defensively for George Karl. Al, I think the interesting thing here, Dan talking about shooting only 40%, but the Nuggets were 10 of 15 in the second quarter after a horrible first quarter shooting.
Jake O'Donnell says this one is on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. He's hearing it from everybody. And also could be on Payton, so it is a double foul. And right off the start of the second half, Jake O'Donnell says, I am taking control in this. We had none of that in this game. 41-40, the Sonics by 1. Kendall Gill with the quick hands. Now Williams has to work it hard. Shot clock is still with 13, no rush. Rauf flicks the wrist. And that goes for 2. Mahmoud hits his first field goal after going 0 for the first half. He's hit 4 shots in the first half.
Speaking of a guy who's got to get it going offensively, pretty good way for Mahmoud to start the second half.
Here's Gill from downtown. Run down by Michael Cage. Gill. And Mutombo gets in front of it, and the Nuggets now with the ball. Dikembe had 5 blocked shots in the first half. That is 6. There's Mahmoud. And Ellis partially deflected, the save by Kemp. So kind of a ragged start here in the second half. Kendall Gill is stopped for the moment. Finds Payton over Mutombo. Minute and a half in. Third quarter. Upstairs goes Michael Cage, leading rebounder for the Sonics with 7. Sean Kemp. Kemp again from the outside.
That time he had a chance to set his feet and get a better look at the basket, although the Nuggets, as we've talked about, have really turned Sean Kemp into a perimeter player. His inside game has been completely nullified by the presence of Mutombo.
8 points for Kemp. It's been a hard 8 points. But the Sonics by 1. Schrempf comes out on Williams. The hesitation by Stiff, but he knew it as soon as it left his fingertips, and it's taken a whole half before Bryant Stiff has scored.
And a good job rotating the basketball. They field the double team, 2 passes, and Stith by himself.
Nuggets are calling for the travel, but Ed Rush says it's foul number 2 on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
See, Mahmoud, not known as a defensive player, he gets absolutely no respect defensively from the officials. And so what really could have been a Peyton walk results in Mahmoud's foul with the left-hand grab.
You don't even have to be a good lip reader to understand what Dan said. He just fell down. Ellis sky high for the rebound. The Nuggets lead it by 1 with the ball 2.5 into the second half. Ellis has nothing, takes it out. 10 seconds to shoot. Mutombo the double team.
That could be offense. I think Jake O'Donnell just called. He did an offensive foul. Dikembe really hooked with that left arm. Shot clock running down, and Dikembe trying to make something happen on the baseline. You watch his left elbow on Sean Kemp. Right there. Good call.
Second personal foul on Mutombo. Nuggets by 1. Payton isolated on Rauf. Makes the quick move. Payton now curls to the foul line and throws it right into the hands of Ellis. Fast break. Ellis with Stith. Ellis coast to coast, and he buries the ball.
And a steal.
Reggie Williams for 2. And that would have brought the house down. And now Payton off and running. Nuggets by 3. There were 12 lead changes in the first half. Schrempf, it counts, and the foul. And now Dikembe Mutombo has picked up his 3rd.
I think they may have got Abdul-Rauf as Schrempf went to the basket. But LaFonso Ellis took off a long way from the basket, up and over Kendall Gill. Last time down, you'll see as Schrempf goes airborne. There's the slap on the wrist. And the ball hangs on the rim before dropping home.
Well, Nuggets get a break. They do call the foul on Rauf and not Mutombo, so Dikembe still has the 2. Schrempf, who's been to the foul line 30 times in the first 3 games. That's only his 2nd foul shot tonight. 10 points for Schrempf. Once again, he's the high man. Has been in the series for the Sonics, averaging 18 a game. Williams wheels. Mutombo still loose. It won't count. A lot of hustle for that basket, but it's wiped off the board by Ed Rush, who calls the foul on Seattle.
Eddie's going to say it was on the ground. Mutombo thought he was fouled going up. Tough shot by Reggie. Dikembe able to snatch the rebound away from Cage. Hammered on his way up. No call there.
There's the foul on Gill.
Foul on Kendall Gill as Reggie not in the shooting motion. Now they just called Dikembe for an offensive foul.
And that is number 3. Dan Issel's argument is almost a continuation on Reggie Williams' play.
See Mutombo, middle of your screen, just bouncing Michael Cage backwards. You don't want to have your big fella picking up offensive fouls like that.
And now Kemp inside. Schrempf for 3. Swish. Detlef Schrempf goes downtown. And the Sonics have a 3-point lead. They have had the biggest lead in the game, 6. That was in the opening minutes, a 9-3 Sonic boom. And now a timeout by Dan Issel. Good timeout right here as this game has shifted in the other direction. 7:53 left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Don't miss any of the excitement of Nuggets basketball action. Place your deposit now for season tickets for next year, and you guarantee yourself a seat. Call the Nuggets office, 575-1900. Account executive standing by. Answer any of your questions.
Nuggets now trying to get back in there in the sync offensively. They had a shot after the Stith steal and a Reggie Williams open jumper for a 5-point lead, but Sonics able to close quickly instead of up by 5. Nuggets down by 3.
And they go into the bread and butter in this game. Ellis, not a good shot, and the Sonics off and running, almost throw it away. Payton with the save. Trying to work on a double team. 7.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Sonics 6 straight points. And the whistle outside. And it's another one on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, his third personal foul.
Well, he is having a really tough time just getting in the game. His shot has not fallen tonight, and defensively, he's had many problems with Gary Payton. Pick and roll, you'll see Mahmoud reach out and try to steal from behind off Payton.
Gill from deep, and he's got it, and he has been the solid guy for the Sonics in games 3 and 4.
I think you have to be careful here, Al. 7 minutes left, 5-point lead. Certainly not a big lead, but the Nuggets not getting things going on offense. A lot of very tough forced shots. That's better.
It's on Schrempf. And now Dan Issel, to try to get things stirred up, will make a change. And this man off the bench has stirred it up before. And he comes in. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf comes out. He kicks the press table. Mahmoud, 1 of 6 from the field. Bryant Stith, 1 of 5. Mutombo, 1 of 6. Reggie Williams, 2 of 5. But the Nuggets still very much alive.
And Bryant Stith for the first time to the free throw line tonight. Really unable to get the ball inside as he did in Monday night's game.
83% foul shooter, comes up with only the 1. 51-47, the Sonics with a 4-point lead. Legal defense is called on the Nuggets. It's on Mutombo. And now, this is a technical foul. This is the second illegal defense. This game is slowing down considerably. And the explanation, the instructional clinic by the coach.
See, Seattle since halftime has been able to isolate Detlef Schrempf on whomever's guarding. Now watch Dikembe as he starts to go down. See, he was already in the lane prior to making that move for the double team, and that's the call.
Schrempf bottled up. They thought it was off of Schrempf. I don't think Dan has sat down yet tonight. The horse wearing out the shoes and not the pants. 6.5 left in the third quarter. Game number 4. Nuggets facing elimination. We're trying for the miracle. Send it to game 5 in Seattle.
See, LaFonso is very upset with himself. You don't want to foul Shawn Kemp driving to the basket when you've got Mutombo sitting there helping him. You can see the quick right step. Now Kemp, as he goes in, here comes, and he knows it.
Second personal foul on the Fonz, who takes a left hook for the standard. Now this one is a hook on Kemp. Second personal foul on Shawn Kemp. He had 16 points in the first game, 13 in the second, 10 in the third, and has 8 points here tonight.
You think of Shawn Kemp, you think of a superstar type player. He has not been a factor offensively in this series.
During the regular season, he averaged 19 points, 12 rebounds a game against the Nuggets. Denver struggling, looking for their first field goal in that length of time. Ellis trying to deliver it. That's Schrempf who made the block from behind. 6 minutes on the nose left in the third. The Sonics trying to take control. Payton goes all the way. And another timeout taken by Dan Issel at 22nd. There's the first fire we have seen in Gary Payton in several games. And the Sonics have their biggest lead, 7 over the Nuggets in now a quiet McNichols Arena.
He's got great quickness. You can see Reggie trying to bump Schrempf. Doesn't get turned around in time. Pack behind the pick, and Payton slices to the basket. You see Robert Pack just a step behind, I think expecting a little bit of help. And Gary Payton, who has not been in this game emotionally, now trying to get himself and his teammates back on track.
And it has taken a while to light his fire. We're wondering why the fire was so low. Was not happy in game 3 when he sat on the bench practically the last 7 minutes of the third quarter. Ellis looking for room. And it's Schrempf who picks up the loose ball. There's Payton ahead of the field, but Stith hustles back.
Good defense, bad pass.
Robert Pack storms into the forecourt. Reggie Williams baseline, and the whistle. It is on Schrempf. He gets his third. Dave, you had made the point. The Nuggets were up 46-43, made a steal, and Reggie Williams hit an outside jumper, or missed the outside jumper. This place would have, the roof would have come down. Nuggets would have had their biggest lead of 5. But since that point, the Sonics have come back to outscore the Nuggets 11-1.
And really, Denver has not been able to get a lot of movement offensively as Brian Williams replaces Dikembe Mutombo. Too much standing around, waiting for the double team, and then as the shot clock runs down, being forced into one-on-one situations. That's not how they were productive on Monday night.
And the Sonics now salivating. They have opened up a 6-point lead, and now they have Mutombo out of the game. But it'll only be for 2 minutes. Dan Issel telling Mutombo the 2-minute break. Payton over Ellis, so he takes it right inside, but does not convert. Robert Pack throws it into the hands of Schrempf, digs back for it, and a whistle. It's a foul on Seattle.
That's an appropriate way to describe that play, because that was nothing more than digging on the ground, rooting out the ball after having it almost slapped away. Pack tried to lob pass, and Schrempf got a great block of the pass. The ball is on the floor. Now watch Pack go down with both hands and a knee and a shoulder, just root the ball out. There's a foul on Kendall Gill. You got to have plays like that. You also have to convert free throws.
Robert Pack has been the spark off the bench. Sometimes you deal out that card and you just kind of never know what you're going to get. Kendall Gill 10 points, Gary Payton 10, Detlef Schrempf 14 to lead the Sonics. George Karl does not want to take the chance of it going to a 5th game. Dikembe Mutombo has been slowed down by 3 fouls, and now a break, and this helps out Mutombo. Dan Issel said 2 minutes. Did he mean 2 minutes of game time or actual 2 minutes? And it's actual. Dikembe getting a break. And there is a slick spot on the floor, and the mop didn't do it. So now we have to go to hand-to-hand combat. Last Nuggets basket, our stat master Carrie Canaster informs us, and he is keeping track of all the vital statistics in this game and this series, was 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes since the Nuggets have scored a basket.
You could kind of sense the turn also, the drought, as they were not, as we mentioned, moving the basketball much. Seattle gaining a little bit of confidence since the intermission.
We've seen some droughts in the playoffs. San Antonio was 25 minutes, 17 minutes, 25 shots without a basket against Utah. Schrempf from downtown. He knew he missed it as soon as it left his fingertips. But that will be on Schrempf crashing the boards.
That's a good call. Detlef Schrempf gives Jack Madden the eye, but he knows that's a good call. He knew the shot was short from 3-point range and took a running leap to try to get a hand in the rebound, and in the process ran right through Reggie Williams. Now watch Schrempf as he follows the shot. Williams inside, and Detlef just knocks the ball out of his arms.
And that takes away a sure 2 for Seattle, which would have been a 7-point lead. And now Reggie can shrink the deficit to 3. Reggie Williams, first game had his problems, disqualified on fouls, 4 turnovers. Second game he shoots 3 of 15 for 7 points. And then the third game, 31 points to spark the Nuggets victory.
You know, the Nuggets are getting, as you see, Reggie from 3-point range, 54% in the series. Nuggets are getting to the line more than the Sonics tonight. They just not convert.
Denver 13 of 23 from the foul line. Seattle 5 of 8. Kemp feels a little pressure. There's a man open, Schrempf. And the assist to Michael Cage. So the Sonics spread the court as the Nuggets with some pressure defense. Now George Karl gets a technical foul. He's on the floor. And Jake O'Donnell takes none of that.
That's the second time George has ventured out on the floor, and this time he almost ran into Jake O'Donnell. I don't know exactly what he was frustrated with, as the Sonics did a nice job there of breaking the Nugget pressure.
I don't know if he still was seething on the foul called to Schrempf. And Stiff makes him pay.
That's 3 technical fouls on the Sonics, all 3 converted by the Nuggets, and in a game like this they can come back and bite you.
But the Sonics still hold on to the 5-point edge. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Playoff basketball back in McNichols. Williams rejected. Sonics are really going up there now and challenging the Nuggets shots. 7 block shots for each team. Dikembe Mutombo has 6 of the Nuggets 7. 7 seconds for the Nuggets to get the shot off. Three seconds. Another rejection by Seattle. Robert Pack trying to do it himself, and it leaves the Nuggets now to 2 seconds. Pack at the buzzer. Second Nugget to get into double figures. 10 points for Pack behind Ellis's 17. And the Pack gives it back with a personal foul. Nuggets 5th. They're over the limit. So Kendall Gill, a fine shooter from the foul line, will get a pair.
That's a play that you like to be aggressive on. I'm sure Dan Issel telling him, hey, be aggressive, but don't reach in and try to swat the ball. Terrific shot here. Leaning in past Michael Cage. The kind of shot that can really send your team into a run.
McMillan for Schrempf. McMillan has not been able to get on track. Schrempf hears it from the crowd. The Sonic high man in the series. Sonic high man tonight was 16. So Kendall Gill comes up stiff on both foul shots. Nuggets could pull to within 1. Payton comes out of traffic. Runs by Pack.
Good job getting back defensively. 4 white jerseys back against 3 from Seattle.
Now the Sonics have stalled. 3:45 left in the third. Gill, fadeaway, tough shot, ripped down by Brian Williams. Robert Pack pushing it. Risky pass. Pack, he's hit 1-3. Can he tie the game? This will go against Seattle.
I think it's going to be inside against Nate McMillan. To push LaFonso Ellis as Fonz went up for the left-handed tip. Pack from 3-point range, looks down, gets set a little bit long. Now watch Fonz, right-hand portion of the screen. McMillan down low with the push.
That's the 3rd foul on Nate McMillan. And the Sonic well-oiled machine through the first couple of games of this series and the season. And right now you see a little cracks in the armor. George Karl not seeing the confidence exuded by his players. 19 points for LaFonso Ellis, just as it looked as if the Sonics might be breaking this open. The Nuggets are back. Pack, or rather Payton with the force, and it goes.
Tough shot by Gary Payton. May have injured his left arm in the process.
Stiff. Oh, he was bumped there. This is the 3. Reggie Williams ties it up.
Great job of keeping his balance by Brian Stiff and then locating the open Reggie Williams from the corner.
Near steal by Williams. His second 3-pointer of the game, is 9th in the series. The crowd now up and deafening. Payton again takes it in. And the tip there by Michael Cage, not boxed out.
Hey, that's where you missed Dikembe Mutombo. Brian Williams has really given this team a lift, but you miss 55 inside. Not too many second opportunities when he's there.
Sonics by 2, 2:20 left in the third. Stiff covered by Gill. 2 on the shot clock. Williams, as the shot clock expires, so the Nuggets not able to get the shot off. Dan Issel wants to talk things over, and the Nuggets have hustled their way back in. 2:07 left in the third. It's the Sonics 60 and the Nuggets 58.
Talking about Dikembe Mutombo not being in the game the last couple of minutes, it's allowed the Sonics to get a few baskets that they might not have otherwise. Payton with a tough runner. Williams trying to block out Kemp, but there's Michael Cage without a body on him. The left-handed tip.
So the Sonics getting out inside. That has helped them to maintain the lead, although by just a field goal. 2 minutes on the nose in the third quarter. McMillan and Gill with Payton, Kemp, and Perkins. Kemp twisting and turning, no travel, but Sonics get it back. Sam Perkins has been invisible tonight. He has not scored. Sonics certainly have the cushion of taking a game home in front of their fans to try to wrap it up, but they don't want to open the door anymore for the Nuggets. Kemp in the crowd. Ellis goes there. No stuff, but the foul.
Tell you, Nuggets can be very proud and certainly happy with their defense tonight, especially in the half court. This ball just loose on the floor. Kemp picks it up. Ellis with a hand right on top of the ball. Body underneath.
Kemp had missed 2 foul shots early. The Nuggets right now trailing by 3. Shawn Kemp ranked 5th in the NBA from the field. Tonight he is 4 of 9 for 10 points, still below his norm. Sonics 62, the Nuggets 58, coming down to the final minute and a half of the third quarter. Fade away. And McMillan pushing the pace. The lead to Payton. Slips by Ellis. Oh, great block by Rogers. Now the Nuggets back the other way, rev it up. Pack. Brian Williams goes in. Rogers is blocked and Perkins takes it off. Payton pushes the pace. And the foul is on Rogers, who pushed Payton into Stiff. It's always Bryant getting the worst of the deal.
I tell you, Stiff had excellent position and probably would have been able to draw the charge, but they're saying Rodney Rogers with the push. I'll tell you, Rodney Rogers with a great block. Payton eludes Ellis, but Rogers from nowhere with the left hand squats it away. On the other hand, the Nuggets able to run. Williams in the air draws the defense. No place for Rodney Rogers to go. And that may have been Sam Perkins with the long left arm.
This has been a block party. 9 for the Nuggets, 9 for the Sonics. Sonics struggling tonight from the foul line. 8 of 14. Ellis takes the step. Can't bury that one. And the Sonics giving the Nuggets just 1 shot. Basket here, they will have matched their biggest lead of 7. No, says Jake O'Donnell. This is on Sam Perkins with the long arms, and he found Perkins using them illegally.
And those long arms trying to establish position. Watch him wrap around. See that left arm? Wrapped around LaFonso Ellis. Jake O'Donnell has seen that too many times over the years.
Nuggets get a break. Instead of trailing by 7, they could cut it to 3. Ellis gets in. He has some trouble in there. A lot of traffic. And again, 1 shot. Payton with the stutter step. Perkins stopped by Stiff. Wide open McMillan for 2. And now Pack in the final seconds of the third. Stiff bobbles, 5 seconds to go. Rogers for 3. Not this time. Alfonso Ellis ended the first half with a 3. It leaves Seattle with 3 ticks, but it won't be enough time. Askew hits it.
Can't catch it. Can't catch it.
Not
and
in
shoot it.
3/10.
You got to bat it. Tip it.
So that ends the third quarter. 12 minutes to go. Is it 12 minutes left in the Nuggets season? They have a 5-point deficit to overcome in a low-scoring affair in game number 4. Denver Nuggets, who scored 41 points in the first quarter in game number 3, enter the fourth quarter with 58 points tonight. It was all tied up at 58, but in the last nearly 3 minutes, the Sonics outscored the Nuggets 5-0 to take the lead going into the fourth and final period. Let's check in with Drew Goodman before we start the fourth.
Okay, Al, last time out, actually at the quarter break, Dan Issel very disturbed with how quickly the Nuggets are shooting the basketball. He said, we're not going to end our season this way. First time you see the rim, you throw up a shot. Move the basketball, rotate the basketball, hit the open man. He was very animated during that last time out. So we don't want to end the season this way. Al?
Dan Issel sends on the floor Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and Brian Stith in the backcourt, and the biggest front line he can offer. Dikembe Mutombo, Brian Williams, and Rodney Rogers. The press is out. The Sonics looking to turn it up here in the first minutes of the fourth quarter to try to put the Nuggets away, and they come up with the steal. Here is Payton ahead of the field and hits with the left hand. And the Sonics lead is now 7. And Dan Issel can't understand why a foul wasn't called. Sonics falling all over his players.
You know, Seattle looks up at the end of 3 with 63 points. They're 5 points ahead. In game 3, they had 76 points after 3 and were 13 down. So it's been a much different kind of game. That could have easily been called a foul.
On Askew with the dive.
You know, we've seen such a difference in how the game is officiated with 3 veteran officials. A lot more contact allowed. Really a lot of rooting inside and not many whistles.
Rauf has 1 field goal tonight. Can he pull some surprises out of his sleeve in the fourth quarter? On the wrist, Leighton McMillan just can't get going. 4th personal foul on McMillan. And he has been in foul trouble now in 3 of the 4 games. Glue on the floor for the Sonics. That's the guy Nuggets want to see on the bench. Mutombo for the hook. Rogers upstairs. Banging inside with Kemp and then tied up with Askew.
Okay, Rodney did a good job of keeping that ball alive, but with the ball around his waist, Vincent Askew able to get both hands on it.
Schrempf comes in and gets, as you hear, a big hand from the crowd, and Payton takes the seat. Mutombo finds the ball in his hands. 65-58, the Sonics by 7. The Nuggets have to make a move. 1 minute into the fourth quarter. The strip. Denver ball.
And Williams strips it back. Again, not much motion offensively. Everything is low post, stand around, make 1 cut. Dan Issel, as Drew Goodman told us, wants his team to move the basketball.
10 seconds on the shot clock for the Nuggets. Stith wide open. He fires. Only his 2nd field goal tonight. But it is a very huge one. 5-point lead for the Sonics. Detlef Schrempf wide open. Perkins with the offensive rebound. Wide open again is Schrempf. And he finds Perkins. Rejected from behind by Mutombo. And it goes off of Perkins out of bounds.
You know, I think Sam Perkins thought he was home free. Sonics had picked up a delay of game warning. Perkins, I think, feels like he can get under the basket, but Mutombo, the long right arm all the way over the top with a great block.
He has 8 block shots tonight. He had an 11 block shot game against Seattle last game of the regular season here in Denver against the Sonics. Mutombo follows, and now the Nuggets are making a move. Only his 2nd field goal in the game. He has 8 rebounds to go along with the 8 block shots. Kemp takes it in on Mutombo. Has nothing. Askew. Schrempf with the rebound. And the whistle. I'm trying to figure out why Gary Payton is not on the floor now. And I think it's allowing the Nuggets to get back in. There's a timeout on the floor. And we'll be back with 9:49 left in this fourth quarter.
Neither team shooting a great percentage. Seattle about 43%. The Nuggets down closer to 33. But Supersonics with 14 offensive rebounds have been able to stay in this game. You see Kemp goes for the dunk, can't quite get it. Offensive rebound number 2, Detlef Schrempf. He can't give in playoff basketball 2 and 3 opportunities on any possession to be successful.
Nuggets scored 13 points in the first quarter, 18 in the third, and still this is a tight 3-point ball game. Perkins taking it in against Brian Williams. The double team. Schrempf darts into the lane and is stripped by Rodney Rogers. Fast break for the Nuggets. Raouf turned around by Askew and McMillan. Askew is hit with a personal foul. Oh, wait.
I think Rodney Rogers has been called for a technical foul.
And that call is made by Ed Rush. And now Dan Issel having a word with Rodney Rogers. And apparently he had may have been a taunt that was called.
Well, Rodney got tied up with somebody. As I looked up, we saw the last end of a shove.
Brian Williams also going over to Detlef Schrempf and barking in his ear. Detlef just turning away. Askew buries the tee. But now we come back the other way. Dikembe trying to settle down his teammates. It is so close for the Nuggets of sending this to a 5th and final game.
Tell you what, a great learning process. 9.5 to go. You're down 4 at home. You find ways to win as you develop as a team.
They want that next learning process of taking the final game on the road. Rodney Rogers, he's burning. Still 10 on the shot clock. Now it's 5 on the shot clock. Mutombo 1 on the shot clock. That ball never touched the rim, but a foul will be called on Seattle. And another one on Askew.
And I'll tell you, they say NBA playoff basketball is more physical than the regular season. We can attest to that here tonight. There's a lot of bumping going on inside.
4th foul on Askew. 9 minutes on the nose, and there's another wet spot picked out by Raouf. They're not going to stop the game now to get it. Raouf takes the risk. For 3. Only his 2nd field goal of the night. Mahmoud Abdul Raouf goes downtown, and if he gets into one of his zones, Nuggets may be in for a pretty good finish. Traveling violation. The crowd comes to life. The Nuggets with a chance to take the lead.
And Detlef Schrempf walked that time, coming off the curl because Mutombo showed.
66-65. Sonics by 1. The lead hanging by a thread. 8.5 left. Raouf cannot recover.
That's a killer because you could just tell he was going to spin and shoot it from the baseline.
And the steal by Rogers. And the Nuggets do take the lead. Askew smashed. Kemp makes sure he gets there.
I think the Nuggets felt like the ball was out of bounds. I mean, everybody stopped playing. The ball just bounded on the baseline right to Shawn Kemp.
And the Sonics bound right back in front. 68-67. The Nuggets have the crowd back in. Raouf again pointing out that spot, but they'll need a dead ball before they work on it. 7 on the shot clock. Rodney Rogers wants Schrempf all alone. He pulls inside.
Can't handle it. Detlef Schrempf cannot handle Rogers off the dribble or in the blocks.
Shawn Kemp. And Stiff snatches the rebound. Oh, the steal by Askew. Stiff takes it back. How many times have we seen that back and forth? Couple of exchanges on the sequence. Inside 7 minutes to go. Mutombo, it counts, and the foul. The Nuggets call a timeout. They're going to allow the young Warriors to hear it from their crowd. Here in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets have scaled the Sonics when it appeared as if the Sonics were breaking away.
Now, Rodney Rogers has turned this game around in the last couple of minutes. Here the steal off the inbounds pass. Rogers with the layup. That gave the Nuggets the lead. And then Detlef Schrempf not able to contain the big rookie on the power drive.
And add 6 more here tonight. The Nuggets driving off of that play. Mutombo now tries to complete the three-point play, closing in on his second triple-double against Seattle this year. The big man hits the foul shot, and the Nuggets now lead by 4. Payton is back in. Sonics lost the lead when he was on the bench. Schrempf keeps it alive. A 12-3 run for the Nuggets, who trailed 65-60. Oh, tough shot by Askew. And he quiets the crowd. It's become deafening again at McNichols Arena. Sonics trail the Nuggets by 2. And we have 6:20 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Brady straight up. There's the double take.
Kemp almost loses. Payton. And it's all knotted up. So Gary Payton off the bench ties it.
That time the double team came a little bit late to Dikembe, and he looked like he had made up his mind he was going to roll in with the hook shot and had to change at the last minute.
72-72. Rogers fakes the 3, and the knee by Schrempf. So Detlef has his 5th personal foul. The Nuggets fans would love to wave bye-bye to Schrempf if he fouls out.
They're going to wave Rodney Rogers to the free throw line. I believe the Sonics are over the limit. It just is a bad matchup, really, for anybody. We talked in Game 3, George Karl, the biggest problem he had was finding somebody to play Rodney Rogers. Detlef Schrempf has had no luck in this quarter.
Rogers missed his 2 foul shots earlier. And it's still all tied up.
We have no legs in that shot at all. He barely even bent his knees.
Dan Issel on the bench looking for Reggie Williams. 73-72. Nuggets by the 1. Fade away. And Mutombo is 2/3 of the way there to a triple-double. 10th rebound to go with his 10 points. The double team on Rauf. Ellis comes out. Nuggets have just left with 5 seconds to shoot. Perkins slipping the hand in there. So the Nuggets get a break. Perkins' 3rd personal foul, and Rodney Rogers will try to take a couple of deep breaths before he steps to the foul line one more time. And he is huffing and puffing. He is the man who will be replaced by Reggie Williams. So see if Rogers could add a couple of points before he goes, and he will hear it from the crowd when he leaves. Well, maybe they should make the change now and let Reggie Williams shoot the 2nd foul shot. Michael Cage is in. Perkins goes out. So the Sonics looking for a little muscle up front. Perkins leaves without scoring tonight. 0 for 5 from the field. 8 points for Rogers. 2-point edge for the Nuggets. 5 on the nose and counting in the fourth quarter. Askew plants. Here comes Kemp. Wild shot, but he hits.
A tough shot, too. Pretty good defense that time by the Nuggets. That's about as tough a shot as Kemp has hit all night.
Tied at 74. Down to the final minutes in this one. 4.5 minutes to go. Rogers. Ellis. LaFonso Ellis has been the man. 21 points for Ellis. Hitting the outside shot. That's where the points have been coming from. 23rd time the lead has changed. Payton over Mutombo. And a floater by Gary Payton. He's now the high man for Seattle. Very quietly has thrust his way to the top of the list with 19. Tied one more time. 3:50 remaining. Brian Stiff blazes for the jumper. Here's Kemp with Rogers waiting for him. No foul call. And the Nuggets come back the other way. Kemp barking at the officials. Nuggets trying to beat the Sonics back while they're arguing. Rogers just can't get out of the game. There hasn't been a whistle.
It looked like Rodney tried to give a foul. There's no foul.
7 seconds to shoot. Stiff pulls inside.
Terrific drive by Brian Stiff with a shot clock under 5.
Nuggets by 2. Schrempf delivers. He's playing with 5 personal fouls, but he keeps it even one more time. Back and forth we go. This is like a heavyweight championship fight. Each team getting in their shots. 18 points now for Detlef Schrempf. And we are even Steven at 78 with a couple of ticks under 3 minutes left in this fourth quarter.
Got 3 minutes to go, all right?
Dan Issel has gone basically with 8 men tonight.
Got to get into the offense.
Sonics going with their usual 9, but the Sonics want an explanation from the referees on that last play.
Let's have a play call. We've got to get up and get into the offense before their defense has a chance. That's 24, Dan. 24 here. 24. New way. New way. Which side you want it on? That side? Yeah. All right. Take it to that side. Make sure you drop that. Yeah. Hey, you guys on the weak side got to surface. You're too deep. That's why they're stealing the pass. You got to come to the strong side quicker. Come quicker to the ball. And listen, don't be afraid to take this shot. All right? You make a good hard cut. You get open. You shoot the ball. Don't be afraid to shoot. Yeah.
Sean Kemp wanted this call. It looked like Rogers just tried to take a foul. Lots of contact. Any rush on top of it. No whistle. Brian Stiff, great hard drive to the basket. And then Detlef Schrempf coming back with his team down by 2. Open jump shot from 19. Nothing but net.
Nuggets come out with Raouf and Stiff, Williams, Mutombo, and Ellis. The starting 5 has been reunited. For the Sonics, it's Payton and Askew, Schrempf, Cage, and Kemp. Nuggets have a chance here to strike and take that lead again. Reggie Williams wings it into the corner to Stiff. Mutombo goes up high, and he is then tied up. And it will be a jump ball between Dikembe Mutombo and any one of several of the Sonics.
Stiff jumped inside off the dribble, and some contact here. The bump by Kemp. Askew with the body. 2 strong folks with a lot of hands. Actually 3 with 2 hands on each.
It'll be Kemp who jumps it up against Mutombo. And it comes back to Dikembe. Nuggets set up the offense. The basket puts him in front.
They want Ellis on Askew.
The double by Schrempf. The open man is Raouf, and so is Stiff. Scrap for the ball, and now the Sonics have the advantage. There's Schrempf down floor, and Reggie Williams takes him down hard. Yeah, that's a risky play by Reggie. Very close to being a flagrant foul, which means foul shots and the ball.
Risky play. I think Reggie just tried to jump in the air at the last minute. Got his arm tangled up with Schrempf, and down goes Detlef Schrempf. First time we've seen Seattle be able to cherry pick and have a decent chance at an easy basket. And I'm not so sure now if they haven't called the flagrant foul. Although we didn't see it early, but I think, has Jake called it?
Now, Dan is still saying no flagrant. He was concerned about the same thing, and now the referees are yeah, the players thought it was a flagrant foul. Referees inviting them to the lane. George Karl thought it should be a flagrant foul from his view. Four from the foul line. He's now 31 of 34 from the line in the 4 games. The lead has changed 25 times tonight. And he's looking for his 20th point. 80-78, the Sonics by 2. And there's the time remaining in the 4th quarter. Nuggets don't want it to be the time remaining in the season. Reggie Williams steps downtown. Wrestled away by Stith. And he is fouled. And once again, it's the guts and glory of Brian Stith playing in front of his dad and the 17,000 plus.
Well, you know, when you've got a 6'5" 2-guard that can go inside and come up with rebounds like that, taking it away from Sean Kemp and then drawing the foul, you've got yourself something.
So Brian Stith will have one more shot at the line. The Sonics trying to eliminate the Nuggets here in game 4. The Nuggets trying to send it to an incredible 5th game in Seattle. And 1 point separates these 2 teams in a game in which the lead has changed hands 25 times.
You got to figure Detlef Schrempf is who they want to go to inside. The offense has been funneled through him.
Crowd thought it was the takeaway by Reggie Williams. Instead, it's the foul. And Detlef Schrempf, who has been the Nugget killer in this series.
Well, Reggie stepped around. You can see just at the last minute reaching around baseline side, but he got called. Really doing a good job trying to front him, deny the easy entry pass. Payton right in the middle of the body with the pass, but Reggie Williams gets called.
And a timeout is taken now by the Nuggets. The Sonics push to a 4th game by Denver, who Monday night beat Seattle 110-93 in an emotion-charged game. And right here, again, the Nuggets crowd of 17,171 rising to another level and thrusting the Nuggets on their shoulder. 80-79. The Sonics being led by Detlef Schrempf, who has 20, Gary Payton with 19, although it has not been an energized Gary Payton. And the last couple of games, Payton has certainly been subpar in this game. The Denver Nuggets, a scrappy team that this year enters the playoffs for the first time in 4 seasons. And the Nuggets won 42 games this year. The Sonics won 63, but when they went head-to-head in the regular season, the Nuggets won 2 of the 4. And that's exactly what they're trying to do now here in the playoffs, win the 2nd and send it back to Seattle. The Sonics want to get it done. They don't want a chance of 5th game. Even taken to a 5th game bruises the Sonics' ego.
And after seeing Phoenix and Golden State in the 140s and game 3 as the Nuggets scored over 100, this game has been much like basketball in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs.
Sonics are focused on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. He has averaged only 11 points a game in the series, and tonight has scored but 5, hitting 2 of his 7 shots. Big Sam Perkins, who's been shut out tonight. Mutombo, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Our last count, he had 8 blocked shots. Sonics by 1 with the ball. And they have the full 24. Askew has gone a long way tonight. McMillan in foul trouble, as he's been most of the series. They take it in low. Payton on Rauf. 10 seconds to shoot. Inside, the reverse by Askew, and the Sonics have taken a 3-point lead.
For a guy who's had a quiet game, Gary Payton with a terrific bounce pass through traffic.
1:15 and counting.
You don't need a 3 here. You just need a good look at the basket.
The Nuggets have opened up the arsenal, looking for many threes. The save by Smith. Reggie Williams downtown. That would have tied it up. And the Sonics with the ball. Inside a minute to go.
Still time here, but you got to get a stop defensively. George Karl wants a timeout.
George Karl has seen the Sonics get it to this point, and he wants to talk it over. Sonics, who have been held to 40% for most of the series, but tonight hitting their shots a little closer to 50%. And the Denver Nuggets now facing the final 53 seconds of the season.
We need to stop here, and then we need to push the basketball. All right?
82-79. The Sonics by 3, and that basket by Vincent Askew looms as the big one of the ball game.
I tell you, he really has played significant minutes here in the fourth quarter. We haven't seen much of Ricky Pierce. Vincent Askew has been challenged defensively by LaFonso Ellis, but been able to come up with a big basket. Look at this bounce pass. Payton through traffic. Askew in the backdoor cut and a left-hand kiss off the window. Reggie Williams, 31 points last game. Nuggets almost throw it away and then finally get a pretty good look. This shot just a little bit long.
And the crowd is now calling for a little more of the juice. John Elway with 53 seconds to go joins Rocky there. And the crowd again will try to pump up the Nuggets. Is there a miracle finish in store?
Well, Rocky may be the only free agent receiver the Broncos haven't acquired this year.
And I think Rocky is supposed to go longer.
He ran the wrong pattern.
I'm right here. I'm open.
They all say they're open.
Huh?
They all say they're open. I'm always open.
Well, Elway could have not made a nicer pass than Payton did in that last sequence. Shawn Kemp has been quieted, but his Sonics may move into the second round against the winner of San Antonio and Utah. Crowd is up. Defense is the name of the game here for the Nuggets.
Seattle wants to run as much time off the clock as they can.
The step by Kemp, and he doesn't get to the basket. LaFonso Ellis and Dikembe Mutombo making sure.
See, when you play pressure defense and the pass is able to get in, you run the risk of having the player beat you baseline or beat you backdoor. Ellis almost got his hand on this ball. You can see as Dikembe, steps in. As he steps in, Kemp is on his way to the basket.
Shawn Kemp missed the first of the 2 foul shots. Sonics with a 3-point lead. McMillan and the defense comes in. Sam Perkins goes to the bench along with Detlef Schrempf. Shawn Kemp, 14 points. He's only averaged 13 a game in the series. Nuggets have him under wraps with LaFonso Ellis and Mutombo, and the door is still open for the Nuggets. Down to 40 seconds. Denver trails by 3. Robert Pack now in to try to energize Denver down the stretch. Ellis, the pressure now by the Sonic defense pushing the Nuggets. This is for 3 and the tie. Robert Pack goes downtown. The unlikely source from the outside. Although that's his second 3 tonight. And
I was going to say, you got a good look at the basket, Al, because LaFonso Ellis able to get enough penetration of the defense that he opened up the outside with the kickback. You can see Ellis draws Payton to him as he tries to spin to the basket. Payton slips on his way back, and Pack from 3-point range ties the game.
And this is a young Nuggets club fueled by enthusiasm. They were written off after game number 1 when they were blasted in Seattle, trailing by as many as 33 points in that ball game. But this is a Denver roster in which only 2 players, Robert Pack when he played with Portland and Reggie Williams when he played with San Antonio, that had any playoff experience. The mayor of Denver, Wellington Webb, joins the crowd, and this is shades of back in 1975-76 when the Nuggets joined the NBA in their first season with David Thompson and Dan Issel and Bobby Jones leading the way. And it was a spirit here in Denver, very much like the Colorado Rockies right now, where you could not get a seat in the house, and just a frenzied evening every time. And DT, David Thompson, is here tonight. He welcomed the crowd before the game to try to get things stirred up. One of the few Nuggets who's had his number retired. And the Denver Nuggets are back in business, but the Sonics have the ball with 27 seconds to go. The Nuggets have been a thorn in the side of the Sonics all year. They have beaten them 3 times, twice in regular season and in game number 3.
George Karl with that last time out, I'm sure telling his team, if you get a clean look, but otherwise, let's make sure we run this clock down and take a late shot. Worst case, leading the Nuggets with about 3 seconds.
The 2 foul shots by Kemp that were missed would have given the Sonics a 5-point lead. Pack comes back, hits the 3, and we're even Steven. Into the hands of Payton. 17,171 standing. They're screaming. Nuggets need to stop. Sonics now with a shot clock down to 15 seconds.
Payton said not yet.
Near steal, and a steal by Pack. He can't control the ball. He fires and overfires. And Seattle will have it for the last 3 seconds. Almost scripted in Hollywood. Robert Pack may have been thinking ahead when he was growing up. That was the moment you always fantasize. The clock striking down to the final seconds. A tie ball game, and Pack, who was in the slam dunk contest, was perhaps a couple of seconds ahead.
Great steal here. You see Mauricio with the right hand. He's on his way now, but the ball just leaves his right hand. Now, he's got plenty of time. Robert, I don't think, realized how much time was left. Shot the air ball, but a great steal. Watching Mauricio with the right hand. 10-9, you see the clock, and that ball with the bounce just leaves the right hand. Had plenty of time to hold on, but man, oh man, it's kind of the way the game has gone. Ups and downs. It seems like the Nuggets are going to pull away. The Sonics answer. They take a 7-point lead, but they can't hang on.
If you tuned in and you heard one team had won 63 games this year and the other team had won 42, there's no way to tell the difference. They have to go the length of the court.
We'll make sure you don't foul here.
A steal. Reggie Williams for the game.
Oh man.
The ebbs and the flows, and the Nuggets just happy to get it to overtime.
Oh my. Sam Perkins lost the handle. You'll see him trying to dribble. He dribbled it off his foot. Williams picks it up. The shot, is it going to go once, twice, 3 times on the rim?
And 3 strikes and it was out. Reggie Williams, the star of game number 3 with a season-high 31. And the Nuggets had the opportunities, but they'll send it to overtime. And the crowd getting their money's worth tonight. We're still here, and we go to overtime. All knotted up at 82. The Nuggets were 1 bounce, 1 shade to the right or the left of winning this game.
I'll tell you, you can see Sam Perkins catch it. Clock starts now, dribbles it off his right foot. Reggie couldn't find the handle. Then at the last minute gets it up off the rim twice, 3 times.
And there was Ellis with the tip, but we'll go to OT. And it looked like the Sonics in the last minute or so, but the Nuggets at least come back to get it to overtime. Let's check in now with Drew Goodman. Drew?
All right, Al, it's funny. Dan Issel ran out all the way out on the floor to hug Reggie Williams. He was very content. He went to the sideline. He asked all 5 guys who were in the game. He said, everybody okay? Asking if anybody needed a breather. Nobody even came close to raising their hand.
They're okay here at McNichols. And once again, they are seeing one of the historic games in Nuggets history.
I'll tell you, the players may be okay, but I think the fans may need a breather.
Nuggets start with a basketball. And we may get to 100 points yet. Wow. We go a few overtimes. Robert Pack is in there to direct traffic. He has been able to energize the Nuggets club coming off the bench. Ellis and Perkins. Perkins the near GOAT in this one. Pack, the hero who sent it into overtime with the 3. Ripped off by Schrempf. Remember, Schrempf is in there with 5 personal fouls. Now the Sonics have a chance to take the lead.
Talking about Seattle, their lack of a go-to guy in a half-court offense. We're going to find out in overtime as to who the go-to guy is.
Vincent Askew? Oh! No. There's the go-to guy, but that won't count. It's a foul against Seattle. It's on Vincent Askew.
Now, I think as Askew penetrates and kicks to Kemp, he actually grabs Mutombo. They swing. You'll see Askew. Now watch him. Like grabbed him by the waist, and Jake O'Donnell saw it.
And it turned it into a waste of 2 points for the Sonics. Now the Nuggets again, their advantage. 1 minute into the overtime. 7 seconds to shoot. Alfonso Ellis, he's been hitting from there, and he continues. By 2. Ellis with 23 points. Ellis saves off of Perkins. And now the Nuggets have a chance to extend the lead. Robert Pack slowly brings it across. Mutombo can't hold on.
Boy, perfect pass, too, and he had position on Kemp.
Drilling it inside is Payton. And the foul is on Reggie Williams. Yeah, that is number 5 on Williams.
I'll tell you, a war of attrition here in overtime. Key guys with 5 fouls. Reggie Williams picks up his 5th on the Payton drive. This shot almost hangs in the rim.
19 points for Payton, but only 2 of 4 from the foul line. Nuggets hold on by the 1, 84 to 83. 3:15 left in OT. Pack directing traffic. Ellis fade away. Ellis high to try to keep it alive, and they do. This is on Payton. So the Nuggets get it back, a full 24 on the shot clock, 3 minutes to go in the overtime. Points hard to come by in this one tonight. It was tied at 82 in regulation. In OT, the Nuggets have outscored the Sonics 2-1 in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Buried by Stiff. Timeout taken by the Seattle Supersonics, and now they face the uphill battle. 2:34 left in OT, and the Nuggets with the lead.
Sonics got caught in a switch defensively. Sean Kemp playing Brian Stith and trying to pressure the entry pass. After the pass, Stith with a sharp cut to the basket, and with Kemp behind him, mails that baby home.
Mayhem at McNichols.
Sonics had not even taken a shot from the floor in overtime.
Perkins for 3. Mutombo wrestles it away. Williams wants to get the ball in the hands of Pack, and now he'll take it down. A basket here can be a killer. It will give the Nuggets a 5-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Stith one-on-one with Schrempf, who has the 5 fouls. He darts baseline, but draws the foul. It's on Schrempf. He'll be leaving, and wait till you hear it from the crowd. Public enemy number one, Detlef Schrempf here in Denver. It'll go out with 20 points, again high for the Sonics. Brian Stith, 83% foul shooter, 5 of 6 tonight. Second-year man from Virginia. Tough, sturdy, all his points coming in this second half. And the Nuggets now breathing by 5 points over the Sonics. Sonics still do not have a field goal in the overtime. Nuggets by 5. Sonics still searching for their first field goal in OT.
Robert Pack now needs to run some clock. 17 seconds on the shot clock. You need to use as much time as you can.
The Nuggets 88, the Sonics 83. Nuggets looking to force it to a 5th and final game. Rejected by Payton.
And a foul on Pack, I believe.
Dennisel turning away for the moment.
This is a shot you don't need. Shot clock at about 8. The 360, but he turns right into the block hands of Gary Payton.
Nuggets have outscored the Sonics 6-1 in overtime. The prohibitive underdog. The Nuggets may do the impossible. Send it to a final game. Perkins swoops in. And here the Nuggets on the run. Fast break. Williams calling for the ball. Payton wouldn't let him get it. And that sinking feeling now for the Sonics and George Karl. Mayhem at McNichols with just 67 seconds to go.
Brian Stith trying to get the ball to Reggie Williams. The foul. And Stith with 13 second half points can really send a dagger to the hearts of the Supersonics with these two.
He has made 3 in a row in the last few seconds. 15 points for Brian Stith, all in the second half. George Karl with his hands in his pockets. Not much more he may be able to do with 1:07 to go. And Gary Payton is steaming. The upstart Nuggets. Just 2 seasons ago, this franchise won 24 games. Last year under Dan Issel, 36 victories. This year hit the 500 mark for the first time in 4 seasons, 42-40. And after being smashed in the first game of this playoff series, rebounded in the second, lost by 10 in the second game, but kind of got comfortable with playoff basketball. And then Seattle ran into a wall here in game number 3. And now the Nuggets hold the edge with just 1:07 to go. Let's check in with Drew Goodman. Drew?
All right, Al. How do you feel now, Norman?
Incredible, man. It's wonderful. I'm telling you, this is the best feeling I had in a long time.
Your son's got ice in his veins. Those are big free throws.
Yes. Well, you know, I felt pretty confident that he was going to make it because he shot the last 4 or 5 pretty good.
Not a bad dunk either. Not a bad dunk either.
No, it's right. We're on the way to Seattle.
There you go. Enjoy it.
Hey!
That's your right.
Well, the Nuggets building Dikembe Mutombo in the draft several years ago, and then the Nuggets hit the jackpot 2 years ago with Brian Stith as the 13th pick, LaFonso Ellis at number 5, and the cornerstone has been built. Sonics need 7 points in 1:07.
What you don't want to do here is foul.
And 4 minutes into the overtime, Seattle still searching for their first basket. 1 minute, 2 seconds remain in OT. The Nuggets have outscored the Sonics 8-1 in overtime. Seattle, no field goals in 4 minutes. McMillan, still goose eggs for the Sonics. And everyone standing at McNichols Arena. Robert Pack now taking his time. The Nuggets looking to milk the clock with a 7-point lead. Spreading it out. Ellis, the high man, with 23. And the whistle blows again. The clock is stopped. The foul is on Kemp. His 5th.
George Karl has seen in overtime his team not really get that many opportunities. 3 field goal attempts. He's had no second chances at all. And game 5 on the horizon.
Sonics were up by 3 with a little over a minute to go in regulation. Could not put it away. Shawn Kemp missed 2 foul shots. And then Robert Pack in the closing seconds hit a 3-pointer. Pack, who had hit 6 3-pointers during the course of the season. 25 for a very emotional LaFonso Ellis. 9-point lead for the Nuggets. It's their biggest lead in the game. Will the Sonics at least score a field goal in OT? Yes, says Shawn Kemp. And the crowd reacts. But the Nuggets will be going to Seattle for a 5th and final game after losing the first 2 and coming back to win these next 2 in Denver. Ellis buries the ball and buries the Sonics in game 4. McMillan for 3. And this place ready to erupt one more time. It has been an emotional 2 games in Denver. The crowd pumping up the Nuggets. It is a young team. It is an emotional team. And they have ridden that to 2 wins and a 5th and final game against the top seed, the best record in the NBA, of the Seattle Supersonics. The darlings of Denver, the Nuggets, walk off the floor, and for them, they have done the impossible, stretching the series to 5. Rocky is rocking McNichols Arena. Nobody leaving here. They just want to stay and enjoy this. The Nuggets outscore the Sonics 12-3 in overtime and win this ball game 94-85 and sew up the series at 2 games apiece and sending it to a miracle 5th game in Seattle. And Dave, I'm going to ask you now the first question I asked you starting tonight. What do you do for an encore? And the Nuggets had all the theater and an answer on that.
I tell you, not only did they pull an encore, but you look at how they did it. They shoot 20% in the first quarter, score 13 points. They, after 3 quarters, had shot 36%. They're tied. I think this team took amazing strides tonight, obviously in the win, but how they won. They weren't shooting the basketball well. They had to really do tough things inside, make little breaks, and I just think that the Nuggets with a terrific win here tonight.
Fonzo Ellis playing to the crowd. He led the way. 27 points, 17 rebounds, and he will be joining us, or Brian Stith, or one of the stars. There were so many tonight when we come back in the post-game show.
This is the Nuggets post-game show. A recap of tonight's game with stats, highlights, and scores from around the NBA. Now, back to the arena for a wrap-up of tonight's game.
It is a love fest settling in at McNichols Arena. Look how many people are still here. LaFonso Ellis is at courtside, or at center court, ready to do the radio interview. And Brian Stith is with Drew Goodman, and you will be hearing from him in a matter of seconds. Brian Stith, 15 points, all in the second half, and some foul shots down the stretch to ice the Sonics. Let's go now to Drew Goodman with Brian Stith.
All right, thanks very much, Al. I asked you just a moment ago, is this the biggest win you've ever been a part of?
This is definitely ranked up there with one of my biggest wins because we're the underdogs and nobody really expects us to win, and we just came out and played so hard. At the beginning of the game, our shots weren't falling, but we just hung in there and we found a way to win.
I think you hit the nail right on the head because unlike Monday night when everything fell for you, this one you had to really gut out and play great defense.
Definitely, because we knew Seattle was going to come back and play a much better game than what they did in Game 3. And what we had to do was match their intensity and just play smart and execute down the stretch. And what really won the game for us, we were able to hit our free throws, and that was the key to the game.
The biggest shot, I think you were up 1 at the time. You drive to the hole. I think you slammed it on Sean Kemp. Tell us about it.
Well, I knew when I passed the ball into Dikembe, and I just wanted to cut to the basket as hard as I can, knowing that Dikembe might give me a return pass, and he was able to hit me in stride going to the basket.
That wasn't going to be a finger roll, was it?
And no, he had to go in there strong.
And then you hit your free throws down the stretch. Can you put a finger on where it was where all of a sudden this team came together and really grew up this week?
I think it was in after game 1 and 2. When we came back home, the crowd really picked us up, and the intensity was there from the start. And I think that was the key to our 2 victories here in Denver.
Any problem getting up, going on the road Saturday, Game 5, winner takes all?
Winner takes all. You know, I've seen stranger things happen. We're the underdogs. There's no pressure on us. All we want to do is go out there and play hard, and anything can happen.
You guys might not need a plane to fly to Seattle tomorrow morning.
No, because we're riding high right now.
Hey, one guy who's very, very proud, I know your mom is back at home, but your father was absolutely elated.
Yeah, I'm glad my father's out here for the playoffs. He's been a big supporter of mine ever since I've been growing up. He's done a great job for me, being there for me, and I just want to say I love him, my family, my girlfriend, everybody.
Hey, Brian, enjoy it. You were fabulous tonight.
All right.
Brian Stith, one of the many players of the game. The Nuggets in overtime, 94-85. And they go to Game 5 on Saturday, and there's one happy papa. That's Norman Stith, Brian's dad. We'll be back.
Well, right now it's billed for 1:30 Mountain Time Saturday and can be seen on NBC. The Nuggets finally make it to the network, and after the last 2 games, they certainly deserve it.
Yeah, I don't think NBC, frankly, expected to have the Nuggets on their network on Saturday afternoon after the first couple of games. This has been a remarkable run here. Monday, Thursday wins both nights, and I think it was best said by Brian Stith. We found a way to win. They didn't shoot the ball well. They still beat a very good basketball team.
You know, before tonight's game, we were talking to get a feel on tonight's game, and nobody really could. Can we even start looking ahead on a feel on the game Saturday afternoon?
Well, it's going to be tough, obviously, Seattle with a great home court advantage. But I tell you, and again, Brian Stith said it best, they've got nothing to lose. So I think Denver goes out Saturday afternoon, a very loose basketball team. And that one idea alone has to be scary to Seattle. They have allowed the Nuggets to really establish their confidence in games 3 and 4. You never know about game 5.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This will be a very different Nugget club going into Seattle this time than they were going in last time.
No question. They've proven to themselves that they can beat this team, and game 5 ought to be a dandy.
Well, that wraps it up. 2 great ball games here in Denver, certainly making their mark in Nugget history. And now we await to see if the Nuggets could pull off the miracle Saturday in Seattle. LaFonso Ellis, 27 points, 17 rebounds to lead the way as the Nuggets beat the Sonics in overtime, 94-85, and force an improbable 5th game of the first round of the series. The 8th place Nuggets against the 1st place Sonics, and it comes down to 1 game.
You've been watching the Nuggets postgame show, a recap of tonight's game with stats, highlights, and scores from around the NBA. The Nuggets postgame show is a special presentation of Prime Sports Network.